In our videos of the past, we've spoken about the importance of education and why we as an organization are so focused on transforming education, what the problem with the education culture in this country is, and why education is such a top priority, not only for us as an organization, but also the country at large. But we haven't really touched on how we wish to transform the education. So in this video, I'd like to offer some insights as to how, as an organization, we wish to approach the transformation in education that we wish to see. One of the most fundamental issues with the way things happen in the current approach to education is that a lot of our graduates, a lot of our students who go through this system end up not being an independent thinker. They're not individuals who are able to take initiative, to think on their own, or even justify their own actions. Most of them are just good at following simple instructions given on to them by someone without even questioning those instructions. So this is what gets nurtured and trained throughout their educational careers. And this is a huge fundamental issue that affects the entire society. We must do everything we can to create independence in the minds and the lives of the students who go through education. And when we create independence in students early on, they grow up to become more comfortable with the idea of taking initiatives and operating independently throughout their lives. And one of the most crucial things that we can do to cultivate independence is to help them learn one thing, which is how to learn. It is a really cumbersome process for somebody to sit in front of somebody and learn something and be dependent on that presence of a teacher or someone to learn something. Instead, if they're able to learn something on their own independently, it sort of frees them up to do whatever they wish to do on their own. So learning to learn is one of the most important things that anybody can learn. Because once you learn this much, then you become an independent learner, and that independence can translate into other aspects of your life. So I would say that learning to learn is one of the most fundamental priorities of education. Education should not be about teaching. It should be about initiating students into the skill of learning to learn. It's a really simple thing on the outset, but if we can achieve this, it will see a complete transformation in the way the society operates. Because when individuals become independent in how they operate and how they think and how they learn, then their very thought and attitude and approach to life would change. And that would result in a society filled with liberated individuals. And that's great for everybody. The second tenet that is part of our approach to transforming education is to promote learning by doing. We have to understand that the human brain keeps getting better at doing whatever it is that it's made to do repetitively. So as human beings, when we keep doing something, we keep getting better at it. And so if sitting in front of someone and taking notes and orders and following those orders is all that we train our students to do, then that is exactly what they'll get good at. They'll get good at sitting in front of someone and taking notes and orders from them. And that is no good for anyone. We must shape education around the idea of helping individuals build their own models of the world, so that how they look at the world is dependent on their experience of interacting with the world. This again bolsters the independence of that individual and promotes them to take initiative out of their own experience and wisdom. And the best way to get individuals to get better at building their own models of reality is to make them do things that give them the experience necessary to modulate their model of reality. Right now, what happens is we make them sit in front of a teacher and we project somebody else's model of reality onto them. They're supposed to memorize this and prove that they have understood this other person's valid model of reality. And I'm not saying this is bad as such, but in this process, we are ignoring a more fundamental necessity, which is that they should be able to completely construct their own model of reality based on their experiences, and they should arrive at a valid model on their own. And only when this is bolstered, individuals are going to be competent at operating autonomously in the world and making valid judgments consciously and in a calculated manner. So what I'm getting at is that education must be filled with activities and projects and student-led initiatives that lead to learning as a consequence of doing all those things. So learning has to be a byproduct of their experience and their interactions with the real world. So essentially what I'm saying is we should focus on the process of them building their worldviews and outlooks rather than the end product itself. And this is something that someone can only get good at when they are able to practice this from a very early age. And that's why I'm insisting that education be modeled around this understanding that we keep getting good at the things that we keep keep doing, so that through repeated practice, kids get better at building stable and valid models of reality and act on the basis of that, so that eventually they grow up to be responsible individuals who are capable of making valid judgments about society and the world we live in general. The third change that we wish to see is a greater degree of autonomy in our educators. One of the biggest changes that needs to happen in the way education happens in this country is that we need to liberate educators who are currently being held captive by a highly constricting system of regulations. So our entire education system is very highly regulated to the point where there is a central authority that dictates what needs to happen all the way down the line, so that they're held responsible for that. But in the process, we fail to give educators the level of autonomy and flexibility that they require to deliver education in the most effective manner, because these educators are the ones who are at the ground monitoring how things happen and how effectively it can be done. So we need to ensure that educators get the required amount of autonomy so that education can be delivered in the most effective manner. Now, obviously, this comes with a certain set of caveats, in that the reason why there is so much regulation and centralized, constricted framework for all of these to happen is that there needs to be an accountability. And if that is absent, these educators may not even have the incentive to do what they're supposed to do. So there is a balance between having accountability and having autonomy to the educators. So we need to bring in a framework that both allows for the necessary flexibility and innovation in instruction to happen, but at the same time ensures that these educators at the ground level are held responsible if they fail to satisfy their duties as an educator. So the way that I see this, education happens most effectively when there are no middlemen between educators and students. And right now we have a huge structure that acts as the middlemen between the teachers and the students, which is the entire framework of the educational enterprise, whose sole responsibility is to ensure an accountability in the educational process at a national scale. Granted, this is not something that can be easily done, but we have to focus on building a platform or a framework that will enable the least amount of middleware between educators and students, so that educators can help transfer their knowledge, their skills, and whatever else they've learned in their journey as a learner onto the students in the most novel approach that works for the students that they're sitting in front of. Again, this is a very fine balance that has to be executed very delicately, but this is very important. Autonomy to educators is something that impacts the overall efficacy of the education process. Last but not least, one of the biggest changes that we want to bring to the way education happens is in impacting the way that we assess students. Obviously, when we have an organized approach to education, there has to be a way to assess the efficacy of what happened in the name of education. So assessment is very critical to education as such. And one of the most agonizing aspects of the current approach to education is the method used for assessment. The current assessment practices are incapable of placing any weight on the creative self-expression of the student, or their ability to take initiatives, or their leadership, or their ability to communicate effectively. These are the skills that are actually required when they step out into the world outside. And an optimal assessment mechanism must incentivize these skills. And my proposal is that we create a public portfolio system as a means of assessment. The reason why portfolio-based assessment would take education in the right direction is that it will keep assessment open-ended, as in there will be no upper limit as to how much a student can invest in building up their portfolio. So basically, the student can either do the bare minimum necessary to get by, or they could invest significant amount of effort in doing something wonderful through their portfolio and present it to the public. And when they do this, it sort of puts the responsibility of how much they achieve through the education right on to them. It doesn't depend on what the school allows or what is expected of them. It becomes their personal decision as to how far they go. And when this happens, competition will not be based on how well they can perform within the limits set by a central authority or an education system as such. It will be open-ended, and the driver for who comes out as a stellar student would depend on factors like creativity and how novel their thinking is, and how much initiative they've taken, and how independent they are in their way of thought. All of these things can only shine with a portfolio-based assessment. Trapping them inside of standardized tests and ranking them into numbers is easy to execute, but will definitely not let them show to the world what they're capable of as individuals. And that is the change that we need to bring into the assessment mechanism. We need to ensure that assessment happens in a way that does not interfere or constrict the student's ability for self-expression, and in a way allows them to truly express all that they're capable of without limits. And once the students achieve the taste of presenting to the world who they are, they're not going to stop. They're going to continue to find ways to excel and use their portfolio as a way of showing the world what they're capable of. And this can make education a lot more exciting than just pumping out numbers. Again, this is not a comprehensive list of all the changes that we wish to bring about in education, but these are some things that need to happen, some very core changes that need to happen. I hope this gives you some idea as to how we wish to approach our efforts to transform education. Please leave your comments below in case you have any thoughts or suggestions or questions. I'd love for us to have an interactive journey as we proceed to transform education. Please like and share this video, and also subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for notifications so that you don't miss out on future videos. And also, if you wish to support our channel, please consider donating. In the description below, you'll find links to our Patreon profile and also our UPI ID so that you can either make recurring donations or a one-time donation. You can also consider volunteering with us. You'll find links to all of those down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.